This would have been the situation in several schools across the country. The month of May in the academic calendar usually marks the start of second term. Schools are usually filled with learners fresh from the April holiday. But this is not the case, as several schools across the country remain deserted following the government's directive that all learning institutions remain closed to contain the spread of the deadly coronavirus.
We have suspended learning in all our education institutions with immediate effect.
As the coronavirus global pandemic continues, it remains uncertain how long learning institutions will be closed down. For learners who come from families that live in areas like Kibera slums in Nairobi, they are facing so many challenges in adjusting to the new normal that is digital learning. For them, they cannot access the digital infrastructure that will enable learning online.
The digital learning cannot work for every child. So unless the government is able even to put up some learning centers for these children, but again some learning points, some learning stations in the slums so that these children are able to get also to access what other children are accessing.
I visited Jecinta Juma at their one-roomed house in Kibera slums in Nairobi. I met her attending to her 5-year-old son who was born with cerebral palsy. At 20 years, being a mother of a child with special needs has taken a toll on her.
When I gave birth, I was young and I did not have any support from anywhere. My mom that time did not have a job. So we were just like struggling and struggling so much. And with the kid, his needs are always special. You'll have to like give him a balanced diet. And maybe by that time, you will not afford that balanced diet. So you can just imagine you are a kid, you have a kid who is challenged and you have never seen such a kid in your life.
She, however, says it is this challenge that motivated her to go back to school to at least change the narrative of her family.
I looked at our family, like our house and the station that I was in with the kid, and I told myself that I need to do something. As the only lady of this house, I need to do something so that at least I can keep my mom going and so that she also cannot give up.
But that desire has now been dimmed by the outbreak of the coronavirus that has seen several learning institutions adopt digital learning that has left learners from vulnerable families who lack the necessary infrastructure disadvantaged.
If you are poor, you cannot get something that you desire to have or what you want. Like for me, I decided to have that tablet so that I can read and at least have something. But because I cannot get it, simply because I lack resources, I cannot have it at all.
It breaks Jecinta's heart knowing that she may not have the competitive advantage like other learners at her level who are now accessing digital learning.
I feel really bad, I feel sad, I feel somehow demoralized because those students that are using these technologies are the same students that I'm going to sit with to do my Form 4 exams. And for them, their lessons are going on, like they are covering the syllabus. And for me here, I depend on myself.
Perhaps inspired by her son's condition, she aspires to be a physiotherapist. That dream, however, is pegged on what measures the government will put in place to ensure that learners like her are not left behind.
This thing cannot be done uniformly. We are not going to do this for a child staying in Kileleshwa, staying in Lavington, and the same applies to a child staying in Kibera. It must be done differently depending on each and every child's circumstance.
Maybe like here, the government can look at least here how many high schoolers are there or how many Form 3 kids students are here, so that at least if the government can donate even 2 tablets, even per plot or per area like this one, so we can and have at least someone to coach us through this.
The uncertain closure of learning institutions presents a myriad of possibilities in the academic calendar. Perhaps an adjustment could be looming, but as the government continues to grapple with the global pandemic that is coronavirus, it is a call for them through the Ministry of Education to ensure that learners who come from informal settlements such as Kibera in Nairobi are not left behind. For Channel 1 News, I'm Serfine Achieng, Oma.